is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of That Scuffed Up, episode 23, coming right at you today. My partner, Stephen Hayden, on the other side, and myself, Justin Lee. Mr. Stephen, how are you doing today?
We're good. We're back in a familiar environment. I do actually have my glasses physically with me. You guys saw with the intro last time. I did have that one glass. It was not with the glasses, but I did take a little shot of whatever this drink is. So. All right, let's do it.
I do want to note it's just water, not anything crazy.
Yeah. If anyone's watching this, it was just water. So it's the only time I'll be using these mugs. But I got my MVP award that we talked about all the winners last time, so I won't go too much into it. And I got my All-Star Game MVP one as well. So these are exclusive mugs.
They're cool.
If anyone's looking to buy one, I charge a high price, but
does it include an autograph or no?
Depends how much you're willing to pay. Some people may want an autograph or something, and they may want this mug. So if you got a high price.
Anyways, well, I've also got a mug here too. It's called "You Suck at Wiffleball" mug. So there you go.
Anyways, that's a good one. That's a good one for you.
Yeah, I know, right? See, look, it's tiny. It doesn't say anything. It's just a blank.
Oh, it's
mug.
tiny like you. Nice.
Yeah, exactly. All 5'5" of me, right?
Nice.
Ladies. No. Anyways.
Yeah, it looks like the awards have not been updated on the website yet. Hopefully, that'll be coming up in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, guys, we talked about it in depth last week. But congrats to all the winners from last week, and now we're here to talk about week 5.
Yes, we are. We're here to talk about week 5 from a week ago. We've got all the stats and everything like that. We actually need to talk about a few games before we get into week 5 stuff, because we had 2 games that were a continuation from a week ago that we covered last week. Didn't get the final results, but we finally do. So let's go ahead and cover them. We've got the Avocabros taking on the LA Wiffles of OC. This game was tied up towards the very end of the game, and you get put in a situation where the lights go out, you don't really have an option, and this was a pretty funny ending. I'll let Steven kind of cover more about that, because everyone knows exactly what happened.
Well, so with that, we're 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning with a 2-2 counts, and the lights go out right before Lucas Sardo throws that 2-2 pitch. So Division 1, we're trying not to have any more have any ties or anything like that. Trying to make it either you win or you lose. So we continue this into next week, which was this previous week. We fit a couple continuation games into that 7:30 or 7:25 slot, and so we picked up right where we left off. 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Lucas Sardo gets the third out. I believe it was a pop up right to the infield. So we go top of the 7th inning. Extra inning rules. It's you start with a runner on second base and 1 out, at least to start off with. I was able to get 2 strikeouts, get us back in the dugout. Then Lucas Sardo continues pitching on the mound, and the first pitch I saw, I took it to right field and walked it off for a 2-run homer. So LA Wiffles of OC end up winning this game 9-7. In a very interesting game overall. Avocabros took a big. LA Wiffles of OC had a quick 3-0 lead. Then Avocabros came back with 7 unanswered, and had a 7-3 lead to the bottom of the 5th inning. LA Wiffles of OC scored 4 runs, made it tied, and then as we continued through extra innings, that's what happened. I walked it off with a 2-run homer. In some new possible alternate choices as well. We could talk more about that later, but 9-7 finish for the LA Wiffles of OC, move back to a winning record and get up to 3-2.
Yeah, it was a pretty funny situation because you had to show up an earlier before the next game, which was at 8:30 p.m. So first pitch, swinging home run to right field. Kind of funny. Now we had an hour to wait of rest. It was kind of like, if we knew you were going to do that, we would have just sat there and just been like, all right, go out there and do your thing.
Well, I mean, we did have to get through that sixth inning, and
Right.
I did have to pitch that seventh inning. But
Yeah.
well, I'm there early every week, anyways. I'm there from well, now I'm get there at like 5:45, 5:50 with these earlier start times, and I'm there till 10 o'clock or later, or sometimes I'm there till like 10:15, 10:30. So I was also getting a lot of early swings warming up for some of the guys before their 6:20 game. I was sitting. I was facing what's his. I'm blanking on his name from Anthony's team. It was Evan White. I think it was Evan. I'm blanking on whether it was Evan, but I'm pretty sure it was.
Mm-hmm.
I played with him when I subbed in a previous week. No, it was Nicholas. I apologize. It was Nicholas. And I was hitting a lot of home runs off him. He just kept throwing me the same slider, and I was just taking it to right field every time, hitting it pretty far.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got a similar pitch. It wasn't as much a slider; it was more like a straight up and down pitch, and that from Lucas Sardo. And I took that one to right field, and it on the first pitch I saw.
No better way to do it, obviously. Get another win on the board for the LA Whiffles OC. Keeps them alive in those standings for Division 1. Very competitive game. And then the other game from a week before, the continuation, the OC Whiffles of LA versus MS Warriors. We were looking at this one because we were playing at the same time against the Avocabros. It seemed like OC Whiffles of LA were up against the MS Warriors, and then weren't able to finish that game. Had to switch between Ethan Lee and Evan Quiroz, and they lose this game 5-4, unfortunately.
This was a heartbreaker for the OC Whiffles of LA. Went into the break. They were up 2-1 in the top of the sixth inning. And start the continuation. They actually got two more runs, making a 4-1 game. However, OC Whiffles of LA were struggling to throw strikes. They were walking a bunch of people. James Lee only had one out left to pitch, so he got his one out right away. He threw one pitch, got a pop up, and that's how he got his out. But Ethan Lee walked some guys. David Quiroz walked a couple guys, and MS Warriors were able to walk it off. I think they got all their base runners and runs off of walks. So OC Whiffles of LA still looking for that first win, but as we'll detail in just a minute, it's an unfortunate day of heartbreak. 2 games in which they were leading and end up losing because of walks, but it's very unfortunate because the OC Whiffles of LA have been in pretty much every single game, just unable to get over the hump. And maybe once Joaquin Jimenez comes back, he'll be able to help out with the pitching side. But James Lee's been looking very good, especially on the mound. I'm pleasantly surprised to see how well he's doing hitting as well. But unfortunately for the team, just not enough to get over the hump.
Yeah, definitely an unfortunate outcome. OC Wolves just looking for that first win on the season. And this would have been a pretty big one if they were able to come away with this. But like you said, the absence of Joaquin has really affected the team in some ways. But being able to pick it up, James Lee, for the most part, he's been really solid on the year. And then you talk about the big surprise about hitting. So tough way to lose a game. They're still looking for their first win, and anything is still possible for their team. And hopefully Joaquin's able to come back and help this team out a little bit.
But for going more with the MS Warriors side, this was a dangerous game for them. Their perfect season was on the line at this point. But I believe Dylan was out of innings, so Shaden came in to pitch, and he ended up getting a continuation from the last game. He ended up having to come out due to walk, so Matt Hornish ended up coming into the game and shutting things out in the sixth inning, keeping it a 4-1 ball game. But a big win. We've seen it with team where a team sometimes you might look at that record and you might underestimate them. But they were scared. They were scared of James Lee trying to hit against him. So James Lee's making a big name for himself, and I knew bring him into our. He was very close to being on my team actually. So that would have been disgusting if you had guys like me, Dustin, James, and things like that, and Jordan, all of them on my team. But I wanted the chance for James to be a star, and he's proven to be right now. But for the MS Warriors, they continue on. They got a big game coming up next, as we'll talk about later on.
Yeah, definitely. I do want to mention from the stats from last week, we're talking about the Division 2 teams when the 47ers took on the Pacific Thrashers. We had the scores actually flip. So Pacific Thrashers actually lost that game against the 47ers, so the 47ers won that game. That's why I kind of looked a little bit off, but just something I wanted to highlight that happened last week with some of the information that we were getting. So
that was a listing issue. It wasn't a we were reading it correctly. It was just a listing issue in terms of what happened there. So it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. With this kind of show, that thing was definitely going to happen at some point. Anyways, let's finally get into Week 5 stuff. A lot of big games to talk about. One of those big ones that we will talk about way down the road is the MS Warriors versus the Purple Huskies, which we will get to in just a second. But let's begin the day off with our affiliate team, the OC Wiffles of LA, coming off of that continuation game loss. And they come in here against the Avocabros, who Avocabros lose earlier against the LA Wiffles OC, and Avocabros actually edged out over the OC Wiffles of LA, handing them another loss in another close game for the OC Wiffles of LA.
Yeah, so for timing purposes, this game actually happened before each of these teams played their continuation game. These guys played each other in the 6:20 slot. Their second time playing against each other, they played against each other in Week 1, which the Avocabros, that was a 17-13 game, if I'm not mistaken. The Avocabros took that one. This one's a very close game. OC, similar thing. OC Wiffles were up 5-3 going into the last inning, and then just walked in the runs to make it a 6-5 game. So very very tough overall for the OC Wiffles of LA. They've been right in every game. They have a relatively good run differential for being in last place. And actually the Avocabros have the worst run differential in the league, and they're 3 games ahead of the OC Wiffles of LA. And same with Beach City Bombers. Actually, they got a worse differential than the team that has not won a game yet. So OC Wiffles, they're right there. If they can just figure out that extra hit or that extra out they can get in the field, that would be huge for them. As of right now, we don't know who they're going to play this week. I would imagine they're playing one game this week, but it's unfortunate for them. I know they're a good team, and I know that they're right there. It's just about getting that final getting over that final hurdle to be able to get that victory. But for the Avocabros side, they found a way to grind through a low scoring game. Oftentimes, they like to play in a lot of high scoring games, which is represented in the run differential. They've scored the second most runs in Division 1, only behind the MS Warriors, but they've also allowed the most. So they're going to be in a lot of high scoring games. But this one they were able to grind through some controversy here and there in this game about. I've heard some stuff about, like, is a guy leaning into a pitch or not, things like that. But at the end of the day, Avocabros do come out with the win.
Rightly so, and Avocabros, sticking with that same theme with the run differential, right? For OC Wiffles of LA, it's been a rough run for them, but they're holding on to a pretty good run differential. A lot better than Avocabros and Beach City Bombers for that reference. So just need another bat and another pitcher, another out, like you said. So
yeah, well, they've been down one guy the whole year except for the first week. We'll see what happens if and when Joaquin Jimenez comes back. His jersey officially came in the mail, and it will be granted to him this coming week. That's something he doesn't actually know, but it'll be a little surprise for him if he comes out on Tuesday. But looking to have him back. If he's improved on this, if he's worked on the speed, he's going to keep that speed under the limit. I think that could be a huge help to this team.
Absolutely. We'll keep an eye out whether he is present for this next week of games or not. Moving on, though, we got the Beach City Bombers taking on Shepherd's Pie. If you want to call this an upset, I definitely would. Shepherd's Pie took a victory against Beach City Bombers against the reigning champs of the summer 2023 season, 18-5, the final score.
Very, very surprising result right here. I think it's not really something. It's not really something people expected. I think even the Beach City Bombers guys, they thought this was a game to kind of get back on track, get some wins, get up to a 500 record. But instead, they fall down to 2-4. They're not quite getting the same offensive production as they had last year. Yeah, you still have Zach and Tyler Moore hitting very well for big average. Pitching wise, they're doing good. They're doing all right as well. Tyler has given. The thing is, just the ERAs have gone up a little bit. I believe both Tyler and Zach were in the threes last year, somewhere in that middle, some of them like 3.5 range. This year so far, Tyler Moore's the ERA is 9. You got Zach with a 5.57 ERA, and you had a couple guys sprinkled in there that have given up some runs as well. Not quite having the same production as we had last year, and hitting wise, outside of Zach and Tyler, their next highest batting average is 267, and that's with only 15 at bats. So it's they just need the guys to be able to pick up from last year. Guys like Ryder Johnson, he was in the 500s for batting average last year. So far, he's batting 167, only has 3 hits on the year. I think big for them. I can kind of see a little bit what happened with the LOC. Where they won the World Series in the next year. Their top 2 guys hitting very well, and then you see a little bit on the down from the rest of the team compared to the previous year. They're not more people know who the Beach City Bombers are now. Last year they kind of came on as a surprise, so now people are going to be able to figure out how to face them, how to try to beat them, and things like that. But this was a huge win for Shepherd's Pie. They move up in the standings ahead of them. Are in 5th place right now, just in front of the Beach City Bombers, off of the head-to-head. But Anthony Agrusa's picked up the hitting from where he was last year. He had a 366 average. That's 15 hits on the year. I believe in the leaderboards. That's tied. He's tied for third in tied for third in the league in hits. So he's off to a big start there. He's got 6 home runs already on him, and then overall everyone was just able to walk or get on base. Ethan Raffman able to get a couple home runs in there, and then pitching wise, the Shepherd's Pie has had some success as well. Both Anthony Agrusa and Evan White both right around in that 5 ERA. So they're able to. They were able to. But in this game, they were able to stay in it and keep the Beach City Bombers offense to a low roar, and were able to get a lot of runs. I think nearly everyone had like 2 home runs for the Shepherd's Pie. So big win for them. That's what we're seeing with Division 1. You're more likely. I think you're more likely to have some upsets now than you were in the past, and like when it was all just one division. Because these teams are a little more evenly matched, and you have a bad day against in Division 1, you're most likely gonna take a loss.
Yeah, absolutely. For the Shepherd's Pie, Anthony Agrusa has found a groove here with a big number of home runs on his season this year so far, and for them this was a huge win against Beach City Bombers. We knew Anthony Agrusa had a recipe to win games in certain situations. It's just a matter of what kind of support guys that he's got. So this is a fantastic win for them. This helps them out a lot, and we've seen this before a couple seasons ago. Anthony's team kind of pushing their way through the rankings a little bit. This kind of helps them, and they're sitting closer to the middle of the pack of the standings currently, but they've got some teams they got to go through in order to get somewhat close up there. Trash Pandas, LAOS, OCMS Warriors, Purple Huskies.
Yeah, we'll see how they're able to compete with how they can be able to compete with those teams. The Shepherd's Pie has not played LA Wolves of OC yet, so we'll see how they're able to do. They lost MS Warriors and Purple Huskies, so we'll see that matchup when they come up. Maybe that'll be maybe that'll be something that comes up here. That could be very easily could be a potential matchup that comes up in the next week or two, given the fact that some teams have already played the same team twice. So we'll see what happens. But overall, big win for Shepherd's Pie, kind of keeping their place in here. And with that, they also get to an even run differential after a big 13-run win.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, moving on to one of the big games of the day, like we talked about earlier, we got the MS Warriors take on the Purple Huskies. Both these teams were undefeated going in there, but one of these teams had to eventually play each other, and one of them had to fall, and that team is the MS Warriors, who fall 5-3 to the Purple Huskies.
Yeah, MS Warriors, they got off to a good start. I believe they got a couple runs in the first inning. But Purple Huskies able to work it back little by little and able to come out with a big win. This was the game of the week. You have the top two teams going against each other in terms of record and standings, and both of them undefeated. Undefeated seasons were on the line, especially after MS Warriors saved their undefeated season in their continuation game. They were able to go from that and continue on to play the MS Warriors here. I mean, the Purple Huskies here, I should say. Purple Huskies still have they still are continuing a very good streak of winning in the regular season. You know, they've I'm not sure how far we'd go back to the spring, but they've now won 19 straight regular season games, going back to last season and this season. I'm not sure about this spring; it's a little too long ago for me, but they won undefeated in the regular season last year, made it to Game 3 of the World Series and lost there. Looking to do something different here with got some different guys, able to get some guys from the MS Warriors, and these two teams know each other very well. So overall was a big win for the Purple Huskies to come out on top. This was one I wasn't sure how it was going to go, especially with Shaden switching sides, but big win here for the Purple Huskies. See if they can continue on this unbeaten regular season streak.
Yeah, both of these teams are the top dogs of Division 1 right now. This was the big matchup that we've been waiting for to see, and we get a little taste of that. I'm sure they'll play each other eventually once again down the road later on. But both of these teams are full of talent, full of guys who are capable of winning, in the regular season and also in the playoffs. So, both of these guys obviously have familiar faces with each other. The two brothers are split between these two teams, and including Shaden and True and Drake and Dylan. So both of these teams know how to kind of feed off of each other in those aspects.
Yeah, I just want to go to the MS Warriors. Out of everybody in every division, they clearly have the least number of runs allowed. They've been great pitching on the mound and playing good defense behind their pitchers. Drake Hoffman so far 12 innings pitched, only allowing 2 runs, and I think both of these runs were allowed against the MS Warriors. Drew Hendrickson, he hasn't quite had the same bat as he has had in the past, but his pitching numbers are right there, if not even better than before. With 13 in the third innings, only allowing 6 runs, and getting a 2.71 ERA, and even Joey Ponder mixing in there sometimes with pitching as well. He's got a 7.83 ERA right now, but has only pitched 4 2/3 innings. So getting that mixture of Drake and True has been great for this team. Drake's starting to take a little bit. Drake was kind of that third wheel pitcher last year. I think he's seeing that Cy Young award in his sights, and I think that's the one he wants to go for. So I think he's going to start pitching a little more. We'll see if he's able to continue this very hot ERA streak. Because last year he only allowed 2 runs the whole year. However, I did get one of those runs off from last year, and we have not played him yet this year. So we'll see how long. I think this team is very capable of riding that pitching and getting that timely hitting when they need. I mean, True Hendrickson will still get a very clutch timely hit when needed. Joey Ponder and Kyle Froome have shown a lot of improvement from the previous seasons. So we'll see how long this team's able to carry this out, and we'll see if this is the year that Drake finally gets his World Series. I know he's been wanting it. Has been in the league for a few seasons now. Was very close last season. See if he can get his first, and see if True Hendrickson can get his second World Series. But that's kind of the expectation for this team. We'll see if they're able to pull it off as we continue throughout the season.
Absolutely. We'll keep it a close eye on that, as we always do on this podcast. Now, moving on to another big game. Both of these teams playing actually a little bit earlier in the season. This is the rematch game between the LA Wiffles OC and the Trash Pandas. This one was a extremely low-scoring game for the most part, and LA Wiffles OC take the victory over the Trash Pandas. So they're one-on-one on between each other on the season, and LA Wiffles OC get another win on the column.
Yeah, the second time these teams have played each other this year. They played each other in week 2. At the Huntington Beach Sports Complex. Trash Pandas took the win 10-4. And as we talked about, I think it was a little bit unlucky game for the LA OC. Getting a few home runs robbed because of the wind. But what a performance out there from Dustin Staggs. Dustin Staggs was putting the team on his back when he was on the mound. Pitched through four innings, had 10 strikeouts. I think only allowed 1 hit. I started off the game, and my game plan was kind of to rotate through, get them different looks each inning, kind of let me pitch, have Dustin pitch, and have Jordan pitch. Once Dustin started pitching like that, there was no reason to stop him. And then at the plate, Jordan Dressler, third inning, had a solo home run, make it 1-0. And then I had a bases loaded single to make it a 2-0 game, which ended up being clutch. As Trash Pandas were not able to get the offense going against the pitching of Dustin Staggs. I came in the 6th inning, had a couple unlucky hits given up, one walk, ended up making it a 2-1 game, and then I shut it down. We ended up holding to that win 2-1. But overall, it was big clutch performances when we needed it. From Dustin Staggs and Jordan Dressler at the plate, and then I had my little hit in there as well after get that walk off in the continuation game. But big win for OC. I'm in the standings to 4-2 into 3rd place, just behind the MS Warriors and Purple Huskies here. So we'll see. We'll see how things are looking good. How things are looking for OC. Still a lot of improvement from them that can be had. But there's a big one to Trash Pandas have had our number the past couple of times, so it was me personally. It was good to get that win.
Yeah, absolutely. They dropped a few games early on in the season. One of those coming from a week ago, and some of the guys are still trying to figure out that groove a little bit. Jordan finally looked like he started finding that groove once again with that solo home run, which helped his confidence. Dustin was perfect on the mound. His hitting was also pretty excellent. And then obviously Stephen Hayden hitting in very clutch moments to be able to get that extra run on the board, the go-ahead run. So LA OC kind of right back in the spot that I guess most people would see them, falling in amongst the Division I rankings so far. Trash Pandas are becoming a very formidable opponent in this league. The pitching has gotten a lot better. They brought Mo Wright back, who is still kind of readjusting after being absent for the first few games for the Trash Pandas. But some really good stats pitching-wise for Blake Fitzgerald this year, still working it with 58 strikeouts and 28 innings pitched. So Trash Pandas, they're good. They've really shown themselves to become kind of that contender this year.
Yeah, I was just about to go in more with the Trash Pandas. You led me in pretty well with that. Trash Pandas have become more and more of a force in this league. When they started off this previous summer, it was I think we beat them with something like 19-5, something along those lines. Just the pitching wasn't quite there yet. I saw potential with the bats. But they just had to get the pitching going. Then eventually, from what I've been seeing with their pitching's been very good. Their pitching's been very good. The guys don't have a whole lot of different pitches, but they're just able to locate those to throw a lot of strikes at those pitches and able to keep guys off balance. And it feels like whenever I face Andrew, it feels like the pitch is moving a lot faster than what the radar says. I've heard that plenty of times from when I've pitched and how they think about me. So. Very, very close game here. Very important for the standings. This would have caused the Louisville C to fall to 3-3, and Trash Pandas would have moved up to 5-1. But overall, this is a big one for Louisville C. Looking to see if they can get back on track. Because they still have to play teams like the Purple Huskies and Shepherd's Pie, who just came off of a big win. So we'll see what happens with this in the future. See if the see if the MVP is able to get things going. Hitting wise, I have been getting things going. Pitching wise, I've been pretty good, but not as good. But getting that pitching from Dustin yesterday, that day was huge for our team, and that was even without Jordan pitching. I'm sure Jordan's going to mix more in the rotation as well as well with Greg. And just overall, a team win from us getting the contributions from guys when we needed it.
Yeah, 100%. And how about we get some expectations in here for the LA OC when they play the Purple Huskies? That'll be a huge matchup between. If we get that matchup between myself and Joey Ponder, so I'm gonna hype that up.
He's already rent free in your head. Good. Yeah, I think you might be paying him to be in your head.
I want him to be in my head so I can completely burn him out of my mind. Anyways,
that doesn't make sense, but okay.
somebody will get it.
Nobody.
Well, that'll conclude our Week 5 results for Division 1. Now we can move on to Division 2. As we start off the day with some very inflated results for some of these games, which is ridiculous to see, which is the first game on there. The 47ers taking on Whoosh, and 47ers surprisingly take this win. It's 21-17 in a very, very big offensive game.
This game, there may have been some of the farthest home runs I've ever seen in this league. The win was helping, but both these teams can hit. Whoosh we're missing a couple guys. One of those they were missing Donald. They were missing Owen and Drew Plant, so they were missing like their top 3 pitchers. I believe they just had Ryan Miller, Nick Yusoff, and unfortunately my internet's kind of going down, so I believe the last name was McIntyre because I mixed it up with another different name before. I can't remember his first name, but a lot of offense in this game. Some big catches in the outfield as well. Saw Nick Yusoff nearly run into the field in center field and make a catch off the 47ers. Otherwise, the score could have been even more. But just a lot of offense going on here in this game. It's kind of like an Avracabros game where you just see a lot of offense on both sides in a high scoring game. But 47ers able to come out on top and get up in that leaderboard there.
Yeah, absolutely, and Whoosh being the other team that we're affiliated with, and you're expecting some great things. They've kind of been up and down a little bit this season so far. Obviously, the pitching is one of those aspects that's not a big deal in terms of for Division 2 because it's once you get to that second pitcher, it's a lot tougher to kind of solidify yourself in a game like that. 47ers have a pretty strong team. Their defense looks really good. They have a lot of speed with some of these guys that I've seen. And according to Ryan Lavelle's report as well, we've seen some pretty good speed from these guys. So they look pretty good. They might become a pretty close contender because they're standing in the 3rd spot in the standings right now.
Yeah, just big win overall for the 47ers. This is as my internet's starting to work again. I was busy downloading. I had a video that was downloading, which Justin knows about, but he's safe for later. This was a 3-4 matchup. Both of these teams, I believe, may have had the same record. I don't believe any. I think this is the only game. I know the 47ers did have another game during the night, so. Both these teams have very similar records going into this week, and Whoosh has still got a very good big run differential for the record, even though they're 3-4. But it could be more determined based off the last place team when they played them. But 47ers, they got the lefty that is working on the mound there for them. If I'm not mistaken, that would be Brendan Gallardo, I believe that is. He's been look good on the mound in Division 2, especially with this being a first-time team. Who knows? Sometimes these are those first-time teams, and you don't know exactly what to expect from them. You don't know how to try to defeat them, like we saw with the Beach City Bombers last year. That could be could be interesting for Division Two. Maybe if that, but we'll talk more about it if that's a possibility with with this other team in Division Two.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we can get to the next game, which is the Bad News Dingers taking on Wiffle Wiffle has been kind of showing themselves as that strong argument for top three team, and they prove it right here against the Bad News Dingers with an 11-5 score. They get another win on their docket.
Yeah, Wiffle D's does have some of the better pitching in Division Two, and you were able to see more of this here. You know, they've had Bad News Dingers has been that team that's sometimes had some very good pitching with themselves as well. But Wiffle D is able to get the offense going, putting up 11 runs. I believe Bad News Dingers may have been down a guy or two, but regardless, you know the Wiffle D is able to hold on to that number 2 spot, moving up to 4-2 now. As we look to get into this next this week 6 here, but for Wiffle D's, they still have Alex Harris is pitching. Alex Harris and Chris Garza pitching very well on the mound, especially Alex Harris. I got a 2.40 ERA and 15 innings pitched with 34 strikeouts. So he's only had 11 outs that have been made in the field, and then for Wiffle D's, you know their offense is still going good. Brian Garcia's still hitting pretty well. He's got a 6.67 average, and not quite as many at bats as the rest of the team. He's probably been gone at least in a game or two, but another good win for them. Bad News Dingers are still right there. They do sit in the 5 seed right now, but they're just a half game off of Whoosh. They're right there with the other teams. So we'll see what happens with this. It could be an interesting race down to the finish for both Wiffle D's and Bad News Dingers.
Yeah, for sure. And then take a look at the standings. We'll mention some of the teams a little bit in a second, but you look at the teams that are between second and fifth in the standings. They're all kind of tightly packed in there. Exchanging wins and losses off of each other. So it's kind of up for grabs for whoever's going to take that second or third spot in the standings. But we haven't seen any teams really pull away, minus the OC Seals. So, and that's something that we'll talk about in a second here as we'll check out their game. But Bad News Dingers, Wiffle D's pretty good win. Yeah,
I'm just saying it's a good thing to see. That there's not a single team that's just running away with it every time. It's good to see some upsets in there. We're seeing more of that with the introduction of different divisions into our league. So we're glad to see that. The record doesn't always have the best indication. I mean, the OC Wolves are 0-6, and they've been right in every single game. And so record's not always the best indication. But it is the indication that's often used. So it's with the different divisions, you can see a lot more upsets and stuff. But Division 2 so far is very close right now. But it looks like the next team we'll talk about is starting to run away with it.
Yeah, and talk about strong argument for trying to get into Division 1. That's the OC Seals, who are playing the 47ers. 47ers coming off of the win earlier against Whoosh, and then had to face a very tough opponent in the OC Seals. We see the talent that they've got, and they prove it yet again. 14-5, your final score, adds another win to their column.
Yeah, those OC Seals are just finding a way every time to be able to get on base. Score runs, and I believe they've scored 10 or more runs in every single game so far. Offensively, Braden Salzman might be the best hitter so far in Division 2. He's got a 6.25 average with a 7.12 on base percentage. This team overall has got a 400 average and has got a 5.27 on base percentage. So, and they're not walking a whole lot. They're not walking a whole lot either. Only have 53 walks as a team compared to their total 256 at bats as a team. It's been they've had a lot of success. You get this new team in there. You get Ryan Ravel has clearly brought in some talent, and is making a push to be in Division 1 for next year. It was kind of a debate whether they'll be in Division 1 for this year or not, but I think they're starting to kind of run away with it. However, I mean, Division 2 is not nearly done. They're not undefeated, so But they do have a they have plus 62 run differential is very good for them. But overall we'll see how this continues to go on. 47ers were competing. They were right there. They weren't getting, not like they were getting blown out or anything like that. They were in the game. Uh, but OCCs have just been continuing to take off here, and ever since they did have one loss. Week 1 versus Whoosh. That was a 15-13 game. Which Whoosh, I believe, was trailing by 10 runs at one point, and they was able to come back due to that second pitcher. But since then, OCCs have looked great from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about maybe early Cy Young award winner in Division Two, and Zach Ireland with 30 innings pitched and 68 strikeouts with the ERA of just 1 at the very moment. So he's been kind of the guy that's holding the fence down for them, not allowing a ton of runs, and then they get to the second pitcher. It's been kind of switched between a few different guys, but OC Seals are making a very strong argument for maybe entering Division One for the next season.
Yeah, and I mean, they'd have the talent to do so. I believe they got the talent to be able to beat some of these teams. Maybe not want to win a title right now in Division One, but I think they definitely have the talent to be able to win some games and get themselves into the playoffs. But I do think this is a good start for them to try to get used to this wiffle style. You bring in some new guys like Zach Ireland, who are used to playing some faster pitch stuff in terms of whether it be baseball or wiffle ball. Get him to learn how to slow things down and in this league, which it isn't easy. I mean, I've had to, when I was learning in this league, I had to start slowing things down, and since then I've been able to speed things back up through SoCal wiffle ball and my fast pitch stuff. But so far so good for the OC Seals. 47ers are still right there. I think they're very much in this. Get some. They have had some very clutch defense as well. They got a lot of younger guys who are able to move around, keep the ball in front of them, or just able to able to go back and make some catches. Almost had a couple great catches, especially in their first game against Whoosh. So we'll see we'll see. Both these teams that could be a potential World Series matchup between these two teams. We'll see how things shake out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Always a story to keep an eye on with a team that's right there in the middle of the pack. And then obviously, we talk about OC Seals plenty of times, and as they do in this next game against the Bad News Dingers, OC Seals get a shutout win, 10-0, in this game against the Bad News Dingers. After Bad News Dingers took a loss against Wiffle D, so tough day for the Bad News Dingers.
Yeah, tough day for them. They went into the day 3-3. They dropped down to 5th place in the standings now with a 3-5 record. But they're still. Bad News Dingers, I think they're still in there. Joe Reese has had a pretty good season so far. Both on the mound at the plate so far on the mound with a 5.79 ERA through 29 innings pitched. It's allowed less runs in than he has innings pitched, so that's a pretty good sign. In hitting wise, they've had some decent numbers at the plate. You got Shane McCoy's looked good at the plate, 388 average, 256 at bats. Joe Reese has been hitting good. He's got a few homers. Shane McCoy also got 8 homers, and Brett Humphries with 7 home runs. It looks like the Seals are starting to get used to the style of playing. Very different for Ryan Lavelle, who the previous season was on Angel Hernandez strike zone, which I believe they won 3 games if I'm not mistaken. Very very different season for him, going 7-1 ahead by 2 games right now on the leaderboards. So this team's been pitching great and hitting great, and it was obviously shown here with a 10-0 victory. We'll see. We'll see if the Seals do have a bad day somewhere in there. Besides that, they just had a bad day that first week versus Whoosh, and we'll see how things shake out from there.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna keep mentioning their team name for a lot of times. They have some really really deep talent on their team. They have some really nice snazzy looking jerseys. But talent wise, it's almost unfair with the amount of talent that they've got on there with the baseball prospects in Ireland and Salzman on that team, and then obviously Ryan Lavelle's experience as a baseball player when he played in high school and yeah, being a coach as well. So he knows how to run a team, and that's exactly the story with the OC Seals, who are now 7-1 this season.
Yes. Yeah, speaking of jerseys, hopefully Justin will. We forgot to talk about this earlier with the LA Wolves of OC. A new alternate jersey was displayed for the first time, worn by the MVP Stephen Hayden. As a potential alternate, let us know what you think of that. Hopefully, Justin is actually putting up a picture right now of me, either me wearing it or me showing it off or whatever. But it's a very simple jersey. We got the other ones that are a little more colorful with the color split in the middle. This one's a little more simple, a little cheaper as well. I will say, for me, anyways. But I'm looking to possibly do some stuff, whether it be alternates or stuff, or getting an. I've had some talks with Anthony about getting an official jersey for tournament teams or for OC Wiffleball and things like that. So we don't have to make people like Dylan Hoffman, Kyle Froome, and when Ben was on our tournament team in the past, we don't want to make them keep wearing our LA Wiffles jerseys. So as nice as the LA Wiffles OC jerseys are, I don't want to have to keep forcing people to wear those for tournaments and stuff. So let us know what you think of that, and also if you do have any interest in playing in possibly doing some other wiffball stuff outside of OC Wiffball, come talk to me. There's some stuff with medium pitch, like 72 miles an hour speed limit, and there's some stuff with fast pitch that'll be coming up like next year. So if anyone's got any questions on that or want any more interest in that, excuse me, just let me know, and I'll talk to you about that. See if you're interested and see where your level of play is, because that one's got to be a little more higher level of play. So just let me know, and we'll get back to Division 2 here. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, completely different style, but it's a lot of fun when you're out there trying something different, with the big bats or seeing pitches that are thrown 90 miles an hour. It's a different world out there once you get to those big tournaments. In terms of the jersey, I'll have a picture up here. That, or you can check out the LA Wolves OC's Instagram. It's also on one of the story bugs on there. You can tap on it. It'll show Steven showing the jersey for the first time. There's a few pictures of it up there as well.
And also me hitting a walk-off homer in it.
Exactly. So you can check that out as well. We have that on our story at LA Wolves OC Instagram. So a pretty nice jersey, actually. Just a simple, easy-looking jersey. Not too expensive. But yeah. Anyways, moving on to the on my end it says postponed, which is the 47ers game versus the Wiffle D's. Do you have any details about why this game was postponed? Potential?
I don't offhand. It could have been a thing where one of the teams left and didn't know. Or maybe things got switched. Got switched around because there was no game for the Pacific Thrashers this week in Division 2. That could have been the thing. I'm trying to pull up the original schedule right now. And I'm not exactly sure what the whole thing was, but I mean this would have been the 47ers' third game of the day, so maybe they were tired or hurt or something, or hurt and weren't able to do it, or maybe it was something with these. I'm not sure, or maybe it's going to be a continuation and we just don't have the official score right now. But I don't believe that was the case. But who knows? We'll see what happens when the schedule. Hopefully, the schedule will be coming out. The schedule will already be out by the time this podcast goes up. But as we're sitting right now, we gotta wait for the schedule to come out. So. We'll see if anything happens with that, or if it's a continuation. I'm not totally sure.
Absolutely, yeah. That's just something we just got to take a look at. Maybe they'll play it next week for those games or whatnot. But that will conclude Division 2 games, and we can get to the fun league, which is the Purple League. Talk about those games a little bit. Starting off, which is the Glizzy Gladiators taking on the Wiffle Does. Glizzy Gladiators already proven themselves as one of the top-notch teams in the Purple League. If you don't check out those mic'd up videos or the live broadcast that Joey Ponder does, pretty interesting stuff. 9-3, the final score was the official for this game, and Glizzy Gladiators remain as the top-notch team in Purple League.
Yeah, and you can hear me on the mic throughout the game as well. I was having some conversations with them, with Joey Ponder and Kyle Froome, who were on the mic. So they're having fun with it. They're enjoying it. They're streaming it on YouTube, and they got a pretty good system set up for their streaming and things like that. It's good to see some good defense and some good hitting from both teams. It was a good game to watch while I was walking around doing other things, but it was a good environment. That's what you kind of want with the Purple League. So we appreciate that with them. But Glizzy Gladiators continue to move to that top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, absolutely. Glizzy Gladiators are right up there, and then the other team that is also right up there is the Sheeps, with a pretty loaded roster as well, taking on the Pancake Batters in that game, but the Sheeps take away 12-6 with the victory, and they remain in a tight race against the Glizzy Gladiators atop of the leaderboards in the Purple League.
Both teams have broken away from the other two teams. With both teams here sitting at 4-1 in the standings, whereas Wiffleball and Pancake Batters are at 1-4-1. So Chiefs and Gladiators do have played one less game. Wiffleball and Pancake Batters do have a tie in there, which we talked about in week 3, in which delayed our game, the Yellow Wolves of OC and OC Wolves of LA game. But you're able to see some of the players that play in Division 1, Division 2 in this league. Anthony's hitting very, very well in this league. As you get some different people mixed in there as well. You see people like Nikki Shiver. I'm not sure on the last name, but and you get Kenzie Riding in there as well, returning for them. They were playing with Anthony's main team before, but now they have this team, so they could be in that. And you just have a bunch of different people in different slots, so it's good. It's good to see out there with with each of these teams and stuff like that. So it's something different to do. You can experience, especially if you're one of the top players in that league. You can experiment with different stuff. Unless you're Joey, then you got to try to figure out how to hit in that league. So
yeah,
I know you're trying to figure out how to hit like Joey. So.
No, I want to beat Joey with the hitting. Anyways, that concludes the Purple League stuff, and then obviously
let's look. Who's got the higher batting average?
I'm pretty sure he has the higher one.
Well, he has a 400, and you have a 179. So
yeah, that'll change eventually.
Well, who knows? You guys may play each other this week, and maybe he'll pitch to you. We'll see.
I'll be waiting for it. Anyways.
Or maybe I'll just throw a hot dog at you. Glizzy at you.
That's disgusting.
not that one. Keep it. Well, get your mind out of the gutter, Justin. This is a PG
why would you want to
here.
get hit by a Glizzy anyways? Like, not even like talking about anything else. Like, do you want?
Why not? Free food.
Okay, fine. Fair enough.
If someone throws you a steak, are you gonna say no?
If they throw a steak. Well, if it touches the ground, then no, that's not gonna happen.
But 5-second rule, obviously.
5-second rule.
It's a steak. It's a steak.
It's a steak.
If I'm getting a full steak thrown at me and it touches the ground, I'm gonna pick it up, wipe it off, and eat it.
If I cut off the top of the steak, then fine, maybe. But
you're taking away all the flavor and everything.
No, the flavor's inside the steak.
Yeah, which you're letting loose if you're gonna cut off the top of the steak.
I'm cutting the outside.
What is this conversation?
You took it this way. What are you talking about?
You know, if someone's throwing free food at you, you're taking it.
Fine. Okay, fine. I guess we can agree that if the steak is thrown at a person, you would eat it.
Man. Oh man!
I'm keeping this in there. I don't care.
I'm saving that steak. I'm gonna kick that up if I need to pick it back in my hand so it doesn't touch the ground. I don't care. If someone's gonna throw a free steak at me, that's already cooked. I'm taking it. If it ain't cooked, I ain't touching it.
Fair. Well, if somebody threw like a can of you know, free soda or something, you'd still take it, right?
Chug that.
All right, here we go. We got the anything thrown at you. You better eat it.
Yeah, well, yeah. During one of the games, a couple weeks when I was subbing in for the Pacific Thrashers a couple weeks ago, I got given an orange slice while I was playing. So, actually, by Joey Bonder. So I appreciate that, Joey.
LA Wilson OC. You know, we represented with an orange, I guess. I'm not sure why that's an association.
We are orange, but
we are orange, yeah, but we're not an orange.
We're blue and orange.
We're blue, yeah, we're blue and orange.
Okay,
let's move on from this segment and week 5 results. Yeah. If you want to check out the standings, make sure you always go to OrangeCountyWiffleball.com. You can see all the standings. Check out your own stats. If you haven't checked out your own stats, I'm not sure why. I look at my stats and I cry every time I look at those. Anyways,
I would too.
Because you're the team captain, yeah.
I'd cry if I were you too.
I do cry about it. And I ask why. Okay, well, let's see. We've got a little surprise here with this next part. All right, well, we got a video to show Steven. This is part of his team. He'll share a little bit more details about this, but we're going to do a small little live reaction to this video, and then we'll talk about what happened at the very end.
Yeah, we've talked about SoCal Wiffleball on here. Me being involved in it and being in the league. You know, we're not just an OC Wiffleball talk podcast. We also talk about other things such as other Wiffleball events. I got another Wiffleball thing we might even talk about after this, relating to stuff in the like the New Yorkish area in the Mid Atlantic Wiffleball League. If anyone's interested in that. But this week was this video that just came out. Actually, technically, as we're watching it, it's not out, but we've been sent this to react, so we don't have to record another day. This video just came out on Monday at noon. So if you guys are interested, go check out the SoCal Wiffleball page. We'll might show a little bit of it here. We don't want to show the whole thing because we want everyone to go check out Dustin's video and be able to watch it there. But I have a feeling I know which moment is going to be seen on here, and I think it was a pretty cool moment for me. This is one. Sometimes I'll talk to Justin about some of the stuff that happens in the league before the video comes out, but this one I've not told him a thing because this one was pretty special, at least for me. So looking forward to it. It's a big series. It's the Sharks versus Panthers. Panthers is Dustin's team, and Sharks are my team. Which we both played with LA Wilson OC during the fall of the season, but we played this long before we ever had that conversation about Dustin joining our team. But so far, these are two teams. You'll see with the video, two teams off to very different starts from the previous year. With the Panthers last year, they were 8-2, made it to the World Series and lost to the Penguins. Whereas the Sharks were 2-8, lost to the Panthers in the semifinals. So far, very different year for these two. So far, the Sharks, my team, are 4-0 with 2 sweeps over the Apes and the Cobras. Whereas Dustin's team's fallen to 1-3 so far. They got swept by the Penguins the opening day series, and they also split with the PJ Gordon and the Llamas. So the Panthers are looking to bounce back here. Sharks are looking to try to take a commanding lead of the division, as we already have a 3-game lead on all of our all the other teams in our division of our group of 4. So we're trying to expand on that today. So I'll be showing this to Justin for the first time. I haven't seen what this video is going to look like either. Obviously, I was there in person, so I know exactly what happened. But I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys and Justin thinks. And if you want to see the full video, please go check out the SoCal Wiffleball page. So without further ado, let's just watch this and then
play.
It's a drone shot.
His pitches. He knows my pitches. He's a good player. Having a good season so far.
Oh.
We just got to put bat on ball. That's all we got to do.
That's a sick shot, actually.
So.
All right. Well, best of luck to you guys.
Oh, there's only 3 of them?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, this shot was a mess because usually Dustin always does these drone shots.
Yeah.
You can see how offline. It's supposed to just be from the SoCal side. It's supposed to just go straight back to home plate. But he gets so off target because he think it was going to trash. But
Having a good season so far.
He's going to
Look
the
at that
right. Yeah, with the hands in
The rest
front.
will fall into play, so.
yeah, but for the Panthers that day, they had two of their main guys, Dustin Staggs and Ethan Johnson, were there. They were missing all their other guys, including their draft pick Jackson Blum, so they had to have a sub, Ian Brunetti, out there, who's had some success so far as a sub this year. Could very easily win Reserve Player of the Year. So, but as you can see, we have 5 guys there. You have myself, in order to get myself, Walker Randolph, who Justin just saw a little bit of. You got Nick Rossetti, Evan
I think you saw a lot of him.
And moving on. Nick Rossetti, Evan Ursua, and Jack Bichetti. Jack Bichetti's not going to play today, but then we were missing Jared Tapia on the day, so that's the 5 we have. But we're playing with a 4-man lineup.
So he's just there.
He's played a little bit in some of the previous series, but for today he was there like cheering on and stuff.
I see. Okay.
But our their batting order was like just 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 in that order. And for us, Nick Rossetti led off, Evan Ursula was second, I was third, and Walker was fourth, and that'll play later, as you'll see.
Gotcha. Oh, one more thing. So, Reserve Player of the Year, that's a real thing.
Yeah, actually, if you go back to the SoCal video, Wiffle videos, you go back to their awards video, which was being run by Vinny Casella. There was a winner for the Reserve Player of the Year who was Nico Mendez, who then got drafted number 2 overall to the Barbaric Apes.
Oh, okay. Maybe
So that is actually an award. We got Dustin. Check this one out. This one's a good one.
Steven on the way. Screwball in there. Strike.
Ooh, spotted.
Steven able
I
to
hadn't thrown that one the whole day, and I gave him a different look. I went with my arm really high over the top there, as you saw in the replay.
Right.
three.
I like that replay angle as well. But I literally had not gone with that arm angle the whole day, and you can see it starts outside the zone, then breaks back in.
Second
Kept
round,
Dustin off balance.
runner on. Slow wind up. Riser swing and a miss. Strike 3. Steven.
Look at that.
Jeez.
Also, you can see I slowed down my movement on my motion a lot.
Love will get under it to make the play.
Look at this leg lift, and look, I got his timing off and his footing.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of reach out trying to get to the ball, and he's unable to. If you start putting this part in right here, this series was played the day before. I actually played Dustin again the next day with Justin. We were at a fast pitch tournament in Upland. We played, so it was. So the Wednesday. So I don't know if you remember this week. This was Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I threw the complete game in baseball for the Mavericks. It was a 1-0 shutout victory. That I threw a complete game.
Yeah.
The Friday we played this series, and then Saturday you had the Angels 5K, and then you came straight to play with us. And when we made it to the semifinals, that's when we beat Dustin's team. We beat the Riptide in the quarterfinals. It would be.
I see.
So that's the timing with this when this video happened.
I see.
So this was a good week, as you're about to see.
Riser swing and a
So far,
miss.
pitching's been very good so far for me. I just need to get the hitting going.
Hold.
Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Good night.
Let's go, baby!
Run for the
Damn.
rookie, Steven Hayden.
Deep left field. Drive and it's gone. Walk-off home run for Stephen Hayden.
Steven Hayden able to walk it off
Damn.
for the Sharks.
That was
With
clearly
his
gone.
home run in the bottom of the third with 2 outs. And it's gone.
By the way, that ball was not out by much, because that's a straight fence in the outfield. The center field is closer than what the poles are. So when I first hit that, I was thought I hit it pretty well, but I wasn't quite sure if it was out or not.
Yeah.
So, but I threw the bat. You could see me jumping up and down. I was kind of hoping at that point, but it didn't go out by much.
Okay.
Because that's probably like 90, 95 feet out there or something like that.
Yeah.
And you can see with my swing, I'm literally just trying to get enough on the ball.
Yeah.
I don't have a very hard swing at all. It's literally just very short, very compact, just trying to get a piece on it. Like my hands barely go back at all, but then you can. But this is not a bat flip, by the way. This is me I put the bat down like this every time.
Yeah.
And then the jump was cool. Little scream at the team. Going around the bases, little hop around the bases. Little scream. Hey, this is a cool angle right here. This one I hadn't seen.
Stephen Hayden able to walk it off for the Sharks. No outs.
Oh yeah! Oh my god! That pitch is disgusting.
The face you made.
look at the smile. I had no chance. That's
look at it right before. Look at it right before you smile.
Yeah.
It's gonna miss
And he's
inside.
just like looking at back at the camera, right?
Loaded for the Sharks. Full count to Steven.
And right
Yeah, look where
here.
they started.
And then
Swing.
and then he's like.
Outside. Gotta walk.
We are back in the recording right now. Justin has just seen the Sharks video. I've been able to show it to him early. Justin, what are your first initial overall thoughts on the game?
I mean, obviously, I guess you guys yourself has had a really big impact on your own team. Talk about the walk-off home run and the pitching, and then you've got Nick Rossetti, who's becoming kind of that dark horse for the team. On an interesting path you guys are on.
Yeah, I mean, well, at this point last year, the Sharks were 0-6. They had got swept by the Penguins, by the Panthers, and then also they got swept by the Dolphins by this point.
Mm-hmm.
They played some different teams that we're not playing this year. But so far things looking so good. You know, that second game was actually the first game I didn't get credited for a win on the mound for. The first 5 games we all played, I got the credit on the mound in the series. So it was really nice win. You know, it was one I wanted to get against Dustin. Dustin's kind of whenever we play Dustin in tournaments and stuff, he's been able to beat our team, whether it be the December 31st tournament. Or there's a more recent one in June 23rd. I want to say somewhere around there. Excuse me. Which he defeated he's beaten our team both times. So I wanted to try to get back at him for this one. But you know, and now Dustin's on our team in OC Wiffleball as well. So it's good to it was good to get him. You know, good to get him here and. We'll see how it shakes out because now the Panthers they sit at the bottom of our division with the risk of not making the playoffs. That they're sitting at 1-5. We're sitting at 6. Now we are guaranteed a playoff spot after that series. Everyone kept saying that everyone except for me at that day kept saying that we're guaranteed the 1 seed. However, I knew that wasn't true, and it's not true. So. I kept trying to say that, but it was one of those. We're not going to tell you think we're the 1 seed. But next video for me will be the All-Star game, and I've got some interesting stuff for the All-Star game that I'll share once it starts rolling around. So, but with this series, it was a very nice series against Dustin's team. Glad to be able to get the victory over our team who. But by the way, the Panthers beat the Sharks 4 times last year out of 4 games, and they weren't super close, to be honest. So I was glad to, and that walk-off home run was pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. The walk-off homer was a big moment in that game. So I'll have that footage on here for this podcast.
Yeah, we could put that one on there. I've got some other pitching stuff you could possibly put on there that doesn't just show all the strike 3 stuff because I had some disgusting pitches that day, but good win overall. The Sharks are looking hot. As I mentioned, we play PJ and the Llamas next to. They're 1-3 right now, but they should most likely be able to get 2 wins versus the Cobras, which is their next series, which might be out next week or the week after. I'm not sure, but the next thing will be with the All-Star game for me. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, yeah. Keep an eye on that, and Sharks are undefeated as it is right now.
so far so good. Much different from last year. Look to continue it. And then also, other football stuff. Obviously, we had the SoCal stuff we talked about. We've had the stuff where I have gone, I'm planning to go to York, Pennsylvania, with Dustin and Ethan Johnson, who you just saw me play against and defeat. And so also some of the teams will be playing out in York, Pennsylvania, playing the Mid Atlantic Wiffle League, known as MAW, not to be confused with MLW, but MAW had their championships on Saturday. They got down to the final 4 teams. Had the 1 seed Juggernauts taking on the 4 seed Long Balls, which Long Balls out of the Ridley Park area. And the 2 versus 3 seed. The 2 seed was Whiff Inc. And the 3 seed was was Earl or ERL. In the Whiff Inc. Earl series these are all best of 3 series. Earl defeated Whiff Inc. in a sweep. Whiffman had a 2-run homer in the top of the 5th inning, making a 2-1 lead. And then Dan Whitener had a solo home run in the bottom of the 5th inning, try to bring the game back off of Connor Young, who was pitching at the time for Earl. Then Jordan Robus came in for the save. Earl was able to hold on. And then the second game, it was Jordan Robus versus Mike Stiles, who, for those who don't know, on Mike Stiles there is video of him hitting 102 on the radar gun with a wiffle ball. It's stupid. It was at last year's World Championship. He was hitting 102. Game went 10 innings. I believe 1 out. Jordan Robus steps up to the plate, hits a walk-off single to end the game. So that's how Earl moves on. And then this idea of the Juggernauts versus the Long Balls. Juggernauts have been the champions for the past 2 years in Mid-Atlantic Wiffleball and at the United Wiffleball Championships. They won in 2021 and 2022. First game, so on Long Balls, they just snuck in here. They had a whole playoff a few weeks ago to be able to see who's going to be the 4th seed. Long Balls win game 1, actually. Game goes to 7 innings. Brian DiNapoli was pitching for the Juggernauts and gave up a solo home run in the bottom with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. And Brendan Boas, you should look up some stuff on Brendan Boas from Ridley Park, because dude sits like 92 to 94 miles an hour usually with a wiffle ball. That's absolutely gross. They were able to win game 1. Game 2, Juggernauts were able to come back. They had back-to-back solo home runs. One from Tim McElrath and the other from Red or Chris Sarnowski. It was like 3rd or 4th inning, I believe. They ended up holding on to win that one 2-0. And then game 3 to see who gets eliminated. Long Balls win that one 1-0, knocking off the previous back-to-back champions in the Juggernauts and won a 1-0 game. So they got the finals being Earl versus the Long Balls. First game, it was a 2-0 game. I got a home run from Whiffman. I can't remember. I know it's Dan. I can't remember his last name. But Whiffman had a solo home run. Jordan Robles had a solo home run. Won that 1-2-0. Then Long Balls win the second game 2-1. Couple solo home runs from them. I can't remember exactly who hit them. Then Earl had a solo home run from Vin Lee to try to bring it back in the game, the 5th inning, but couldn't do it. So we go to game 3. We get a 0-0 game all the way through the 9th inning until Jordan Robles steps up. 3rd pitch he sees of the inning, hits a walk-off home run to win the Mid-Atlantic Wiffleball Championship, which is considered to have the best, kind of be like the top wiffleball league in the world. It's got a lot of the best players in the world. It's the main one people watch for, people pay attention to for fast pitch and stuff. In the East region, like New Yorkish region. So Earl was the 3 seed going into the day, and they win that one 1-0, and they win the MAW championship over the Long Balls. But it was pretty fun to watch overall. I've seen some of the stuff live. I got to see that Robles home run live, and and you think I was excited for my home run against Dustin. You got to see that. You can see the reaction to that. You'll be able to go to the Mid Atlantic Wiffleball channel. You can check out their live streams, and you can see his reaction. Let's just say he really wanted that belt.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you want to check that out, as Steven said, go check out the Mid-Atlantic Wiffleball YouTube channel.
Yeah, you'll find this one under the live stream area. If you want to see that home run, you have to go very far back. It's like an hour. It's an hour 53-minute long stream for one game, and you have to go to 1 hour 52 minutes to be able to find and a half minutes to be able to find this. So might show you this. Maybe just show you this off camera quickly. So. That's some other Wiffleball news, but be big news for them. Got the World Tournament starting in a few weeks, so looking forward to that, and a big win there for Earl and Jordan Rollis in that walk off.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing that information with us. I'll probably check it out a little bit later, and then if you want to show me that home run real fast, then you can definitely do that. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you got anything else to talk about for the rest of the time being. I think we kind of covered most of everything already.
Yeah, I think we're relatively good on stuff. We appreciate everyone coming in. Go check out the SoCal Wiffleball video as well to be able to see me get a couple wins there. Mm-hmm. Off of Dustin. Dustin was very crucial for our game this week against the Trash Pandas, but. Back when this was played, I was able to get the victory over him and EJ as we officially clinch a playoff spot, and we're going to try to clinch that one seed. We need at least like 1 or 2 wins to be able to clinch that. It all depends on how we do against PJ's team, so we'll see what happens with that.
Definitely. And before we close out here, just some quick news before we close out. Got the Fall 2023 Golf Tournament registration up at the OrangeCountyWiffleball.com. Offer valid until October 5th. The golf tournament will be taking place at Saturday, October 14th, starting at 10 a.m. at Strawberry Farms Golf Club. So if you're interested in joining that, Steven and I have participated in that one time. Steven's been doing it for a couple of times already. But it's a fun time. We do a couple of different things. We do like long drive. We've done closest to the pin, dice games, mulligans, breakfast balls is a new thing, I guess, that's happening. And then obviously a ton of other prizes are also a part of this as well. So if you like to play golf with a couple people outside of the Tuesday games, then this is a big opportunity to do that. And with that being said, I think that should be enough for this episode 23 of That Scuffed Up. Make sure you guys go check out everything on the Orange County Wiffleball page. Make sure you check out Mid-Atlantic Wiffleball and SoCal Wiffleball stuff with Steven. And obviously the home run that he mentioned for the Mid-Atlantic Wiffleball. And then make sure you guys follow the official Orange OC Wiffleball Instagram. And make sure you subscribe to this channel. And we appreciate everybody always watching and tuning in to That Scuffed Up podcast. This has been Justin Lee and Stephen Hayden. For now, we'll see you guys later next week.
Sharks are hungry, LFC are hungry, and the MVP is hungry.